The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Wow. Episode 75. And look at a brand new intro for the Scoreboard Addicts.
Kind of snazzy, no?
That was. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like 90s metal. Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s metal. Something you'd see in like Clerks.
Oh, definitely.
That's what, especially your scene of stealing somebody's packages off their front porch.
Hey, listen, I mean, porch piracy. If you're going to be a pirate, you might as well get Amazon packages out of it, right?
TJ was always a pirate. We played baseball together for years. I used to say TJ's a pirate, and somebody would go, "Who the hell's TJ the pirate?" I go, "The only guy on our team that dresses like a pirate." Earring, a patch over his eye, skull and crossbones on the back of his hat. It's bizarre.
Right.
Absolutely bizarre.
Me?
Maybe it was like an homage to Wild Thing because Wild Thing had the skull and crossbones on his glasses.
No, I'm just a man living the dream. You know what I mean?
Just doing his best.
I put a cannon on the back of my pickup truck.
TJ
sailed
up his house, made it watertight, put a flag on the top, took it out as a boat.
Flex Seal. Shit does the trick every time.
But yeah, cheers to episode 75.
Yeah, ooh, you know what? I got so excited by that promo and cracked my beer. Oh, yeah. Listen to that nitrogen release. Nitrous oxide, whatever.
That's delicious. You know, I had a Pepsi Nitro. It was delicious.
Yeah?
It was Pepsi Vanilla Nitro. Basically, they took a Guinness can, but instead of putting like that little widget inside that's like a little ball,
yeah,
they attached it as like I don't know, it looks like a cap on the bottom of the can.
And what, you like turn it or it just automatically pops when you...
It automatically pops. Like when you open the lid, just like the widget inside the Guinness, it just let go of nitrous. But what was really cool is that like you poured it into a can and it cascaded down like Guinness, but it was soda.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it was pretty delicious too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big Pepsi guy, but that
where'd you get that?
My dad got it for me at the commissary when they were up here visiting.
Oh, I was gonna say I gotta keep an eye out for that. I would definitely check that out and try that. That sounds pretty damn awesome.
It was pretty delicious. Actually, I think the technology was more impressive than anything else. I want to apologize to anybody that's listening or watching. I got some allergies going on today. I've been congested all day, sneezing with the itchy eyes and, some congestion on the top of all of that. And so if I sound a little off to you, any more annoying than I normally sound, it's because of the allergies. God damn them. Also, I'll be going to Puerto Rico on this weekend for a little family vacation, and I'll be recording some content for everybody so that you guys could see what it's like in the homeland. And that's another goal for the New York Rangers.
Oh, nice. Who scored?
I looked down for 10 seconds to make eye contact with our viewers, and I missed who scored. It's Philip Hedel with his second goal of the evening. I don't know who got the assist on that. Let's see. Off of Kako to Lafreniere to Hedel and score. Oh, no, take it back. Lafreniere to, I don't know who the other guy, I don't know who that was. Lafreniere, to Kako with the beautiful pass to Hedel to score. That Kako, he's something else. Let me tell you, people might hate on the guy because he's not scoring goals left and right, lighting up the lamp, but I'll be damned if he doesn't have the prettiest fucking assists in the NHL.
Dude, you know what? And I get it. I get it. We have high hopes. We're Ranger fans that are in search of a cup. You know what I mean? We've been lucky enough to see the Rangers make it to the playoffs a lot since they won the cup in '94. So they're definitely not a scrub team. We haven't had to go through massive amounts of stretches where we don't see the playoffs. Generally, over the past, what has it been since 94, 28 years? In the past 28 years, we haven't really had to go on a downturn, a stretch of years where we haven't seen the playoffs or haven't been relevant. The Rangers have probably been one of the most relevant teams in a 3-decade stretch, that haven't won the cup. We've been very fortunate, but obviously we want to see a win. We want to see them hoist the cup again at Madison Square Garden, another ticket day parade in Manhattan. But we have these expectations for these rookies that are kind of like it doesn't happen. You never get to see it unless that's the person's a generational talent. We talk about generational talents all the time on this podcast, but the point of a generational talent is there's one guy that stands out in a generation, and being
10 years,
right? About 10 years, which is the average decent to long time an athlete would spend in the league, and it's not a abundant thing to get a Sidney Crosby and an Ovechkin at the same time entering the league. That was a rarity. And right now you're seeing people like Connor McDavid rip it up in the league, but who else is really stepping up? Devil fans like to say Jack Hughes kind of has that, I guess, Connor McDavid-esque ability because he is so young and he is very talented and able to navigate the NHL in being as young as he is. And he's a very slender dude. So it's impressive. And he definitely does have Connor McDavid vibes, but he's not, racking up 40-something goals a year. It's just not happening. But right. Again, Capo Caco is a great draft for us. And so is Alexis Lafreniere. They're in their early 20s.
Very
and
early.
NHL players do not develop into, people that can navigate the NHL until their early to mid-20s. You know what I mean? You have to come out and you have to get banged around a little bit. You have to figure out the way the game works and how it's played, because playing Pee Wee hockey through juniors, college, whatever you did to get to the NHL, it is a completely different game. There is no room out there. Everybody skates like they're, Michelle Kwan. Everybody's great on their edges and fast and can run you down. The biggest defenseman will put a hurting on you that'll last for months, if not the season. So it's a completely different game. You got to give people time. I know we're getting, a little frustrated with Lafreniere right now. I think he's making some strides of improvement. I blame a little bit on Gerard Gallant with him just getting constantly moved around or outright benched. It's a little ridiculous.
With Kako last season.
Right, and that's the thing. It gives me John Tortorella vibes, and how many young players that John Tortorella ruined, essentially making players out like JT Miller to say that they'll never be in the NHL. Yeah, really? Because I'm pretty sure last year we were like, how much is he going to cost to get him back? So you got to be patient with the kids, because especially Kako, it doesn't matter how many times Kako scores. Well, we'd like to see him score 20, 30 goals a season. If he's going to rack up 50 assists, it doesn't really matter, does it? If he's going to feed the guys around him and they're going to come away with a plus minus that's up in the higher plus range and they're winning, that's all you want.
But the killer, I've been watching a lot of wrestling documentaries. Shout out to our buddies over there at the Wrestling Podcast, the Wrestling Addicts. And I've been watching a lot of documentaries, and a lot of people tell stories about paying your dues,
right?
And I think there are some rookies that need to pay their dues. They need to learn. Their shit don't stink,
definitely.
But there are some guys that they're talented, very talented, but let's say, for instance, they just don't have the confidence that they should have. It's look at Lafreniere. He's 21. He just turned 21 this past October. How much confidence can a kid who's 19 years old, right? Is his what, third year in the league? Third year in the league. So he's 19 years old in the NFL with grown ass men.
NHL.
How much confidence could that kid possibly have without being arrogant?
Without being arrogant, and when he has a bad night, not go home and crack a Molson Golden and sip away the pain. He can't even do adult things like go home, put his feet up on the couch, pour himself a scotch or a bourbon, and review tape and be like, what am I doing here? And reflect. He has to drink an herbal tea to reflect. He has to go down to the Starbucks and get a chocolate macchiato foo-foo fucking drink. Okay? Come on.
But point being is that, I think some of these kids, I'm not, and everybody goes, oh, well, they can't be coddled. They got to be tougher than that. And I've been saying the
Tougher.
same thing.
I mean, you go out there and take the lumps that they're taking on a nightly basis, and you let me know how that fucking feels.
The killer for me right now is I've been saying the same thing about football. With New Yorkers have this crazy idea that the fact that we're assholes to our players somehow makes us better. I don't know. It's like I saw something today, like somebody was saying, "Oh, well, Zach Wilson just doesn't have what it takes to play in New York." I said, "Well, it doesn't seem like anybody's had what it takes to play in New York for the last 50 years." I don't. We should be.
I don't think it's. I really don't think. Listen, the frustration of a Jet fan is definitely not comparable to Ranger fans. I don't think we're as tough as that by any stretch, and I think NHL fans in general are, because listen, the NHL is not grown like the NFL. And the NHL, it's not very easy to be a casual NHL fan. The only time you really get the bandwagon fans is when the Rangers are going into the playoff and you're at a bar and all of a sudden, somebody wants to be part of the mix. Yeah, and fair weather fan, and yeah, and throw on a jersey and act like they know what the fuck they're talking about and couldn't tell you what icing is. But I think NFL has a lot more of that, a lot more fair weather fans, and a lot more people that are quick to just shit on somebody and know absolutely nothing about what they're talking about. I think the NHL, most fans are pretty good and diehard, especially in their local market. So I'm glad, even though we're in New York and New York fans are pretty tough on their home team, New York fans really have nothing to bitch about the Rangers. Just because, listen, we haven't won a cup since '94, but we've been playoff relevant the entire time since. So look, dude, you don't think the Islanders and their 4 cups in the 80s, you know how many people were born after that would kill to have the playoff, stay that we've had over the past, 30 years?
Yeah. I mean, I will say this real quick. For those who don't know, icing is an infraction when a player shoots, bats with the hand or stick, or deflects the puck over the center red line and the opposing team's red goal line, in that order, and the puck remains untouched without scoring a goal. That's what icing is. In case TJ over your head, I couldn't say it better than what I just read because I know what it is when I see it, but I couldn't tell you. I'm like, yeah, it goes over the freaking center line and the back goal line.
I will say this:
batted or with a stick or a hand or
the best way to become, if you're interested in becoming an NHL fan and you have a local team that you want to go check out, go to a game, because that is the easiest way to explain to somebody the rules of the NHL. To be able to visually point and be like, if they're on that side of the red line and they shoot the puck down behind the goal of, the opposing side, and they don't get to it first, the other team does, that's icing, the faceoff is brought down to the defensive end. It's easier to do these from there to there. It goes back that way.
The best way to learn any sport in the world is to play video games.
You know what? That's pretty true. I've said the same thing, and I learned
about soccer until I started playing FIFA.
Dude, I learned how to play craps through video games. I
got a free version of Madden when I was just like, I don't know, very young. My family's not a football family; we're a baseball family. I got a free version of Madden with my sister's computer when I was probably like 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned that, because until then I played NFL Blitz. I thought a first down was 30 yards.
Yeah.
Because in NFL Blitz, a first down is 30 yards.
Right.
And I played Madden. That's
I mean, and listen, first down when we were playing schoolyard football is 3 completions and 4 downs. Didn't matter where the ball went.
100%.
Dude, listen, playing a game that's how I learned how to play craps when I started gambling, when I hit my early 20s, and I thought the cool dudes with the, nice watches, wearing suits and stuff like that, and sitting there like gentlemen rolling the dice. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and it's one of the most. Dude, I taught you how to play craps. Kiss my ass.
I'm the cool dude with the suit with the watch.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be there before me if I wasn't able to teach you. I mean, this is like you're ruining the timeline. Don't pull a Marvel.
You just described me.
Don't pull a Marvel.
So what you're trying to tell me is that this whole time you idolized me without knowing that you were going to idolize me?
No. I built you up to be the man to idolize that you are today. I taught you how to be.
Oh my God.
Really, I mean, dude, if you want to talk about intimidation factor, walk up to a craps table knowing nothing about the game, put your money down and be like, oh, how do you play? You will have 12 fucking people stare at you with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth or a cigar, and with just a scowl of disgust and hatred.
That's not true.
That's kind of true.
You'll have one or two people that look at you like, all right, kid, just do what I'm doing.
No, you'll be lucky to get one or two people, like somebody like my dad, who'll be like, "Oh, just stand next to me and do what I do, and I'll explain it all to you," with a smile on his face. Everybody else will be like, "Oh, fuck out of here."
Depends. What's the max bet on that, or the bottom bet on that table? If it's five, you're next.
No,
it's somebody who's cool.
I mean, if you're learning the game, you're playing whatever the table minimum is. Minimum is you got to play the pass line, don't pass, whatever you happen to be doing. Don't be a don't better.
Go up there and play the fucking don't pass line.
Oh my god!
You want to be a real asshole and gain the ire of everybody at the table.
Oh, dude.
We move forward.
I think you're a little low, by the way. Can you turn up your volume? We don't have Matt here to tell me.
Oh shit! 1 second. No, I don't think I can. Wait, can I? How about that? How's that?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Way loud. There we go. Cool.
There we go.
So no, I just think that New Yorkers in general, that whole concept of like you're not tough enough to play here. I mean, I honestly think you turn us off to a lot of free agents and like who wants to deal with that shit. Truthfully, it's like
can we get away from that mantra? Because think about it, New York is not hard anymore. We're not tough.
This big city in the world.
Like, we're not that tough. New York City has now become a snowflake haven. Okay, we're gonna call it like it is. When I was a kid, walking to the garden with my father, he'd be like, "Keep your eyes down and just like don't mind your business, don't look at anybody, whatever," because there were some bad people just walking amongst you. Okay, now it's not the case. It really isn't.
But only if you're not from New York.
I get it, but I mean, dude, the townies in this place now, I mean, they're all transplants. They're all like hipsters from everywhere else with mommy and daddy's money.
That's true. But that I still don't like the concept just because
not at all.
In my head, it's like coming from a bad neighborhood where everybody that you knew is either dead or in jail, and then being like, yeah. Like, wouldn't you have rather come from a better neighborhood where like your friends are still alive? Like, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I'm from there and it's great and I'm staying there forever. No, like, get out of there. Stop doing that. Get to a better.
Why are you still there?
Get to a better place. Like sitting here and shitting on Lafreniere every single day is not going to magically make him play hockey better.
It seems like certain people don't want him to get better. That they'd rather just be able to bitch about him.
The world that we live in today, right? The world that we live in today with social media and there's basically a log of every stupid thing that we all say. Nobody wants to say Lafreniere is going to be a bust and then 3 years from now be proven wrong. So they'll die on that hill. They will die on that hill because they don't want to look like a fool where somebody goes into their mentions from 6 years ago and goes, huh, this guy completely discredited because he said Lafreniere was going to be a bust. So they just pray that he'll be a bust forever because they already said it. They can't take it back.
And you know what's funny is that's the shit that we hate on the media for. When somebody has an awful take, you know what I mean? When somebody has a shit take, like Mike Francesa running down Altuve saying he'll never be a professional baseball player. It's like, hey, fucking stupid. You were wrong. Just own it.
Undertaker won't ever be a pro. Nobody will ever pay money to see the Undertaker.
And these guys, these media personalities will never own it. Most of them, at least. I don't want to see all of them. But just how hard is it to look into the camera or speak into the microphone and say, like, I was wrong and I'm happy that I'm wrong because this is awesome and, it's a treat to watch this person play.
Better for the game.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I think that's what it comes down. Even with fans specifically, is like, they made a statement about a certain player, and they don't want to get caught with worst take of the year.
They don't want the freezing cold take moniker.
They don't want the freezing cold take. That's what it comes down to. You know what? Sometimes that's okay. I just want my team to fucking win. I couldn't give a shit less how. Just win, baby. Al Davis said it so many years ago, and here we are, like 50 years later, and it's still fucking true. Yeah. Just win, baby. That being said, I think we can move on to the NFL, and the team did win, baby. I just so everybody's tracking. I had a dream over like the week before Martin Luther King Day weekend. TJ can corroborate my story because
I can.
Place in our little group chat that we have with our group, and I tweeted. I had two weird dreams that day. I slept in that day. I think I had 2 days off or something like that. And I had two
Did
weird
you follow the weird naked Indian?
I thought it was inappropriate to see the crack in the Indian's bum. So the first dream was bizarre. Mind you, this is before week 1 of the playoffs where the Giants played the Vikings. That was a Saturday. So this is Thursday, and I text message the group and I say, I had a dream that the Giants got blown out really badly, and Rook was pissed about it, like really pissed. And then the second dream I had was I had a dream I was sitting at a bar, and Rook's older brother comes up to me and says, the Yankees just signed Trevor Bauer. And he's really excited about it. Not that I'm saying that Rook's brother would be excited about it. And it was kind of bizarre that he'd be in the dream. And I was like, just totally dejected. I was like, I hate that fucking guy. I can't believe this shit. So, Saturday happens. The Giants beat the Vikings. And Rook's, I think Rook said something along the lines, well, I guess your dream wasn't true, so much for your dream.
Right.
And here we are a week and change later. And all I can say is dreams come true. And as the Giants get completely demolished, ruined, destroyed by the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate the Eagles. God damn if my dream didn't come true. So now I got to be honest with you. I'm a little worried that the Yankees signed Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
How come I couldn't have a dream that I win hundreds of thousands of dollars?
I mean, listen, not every dream comes true, right?
No, definitely not. But Giants get smacked upside the head by the Eagles. And I got to be honest with you. I don't think I wasn't surprised. And B, I honestly just feel like, dude, it's you got exposed, just like the Vikings. I think the Vikings and the Giants were the two most lucky teams in the NFL this season because
Definitely.
there's about either team other than Justin Jefferson and Saquon Barkley. No, not even Saquon Barkley to a certain extent, but I think more Dexter Lawrence. There's nobody on either team that you're sitting there going, that guy's a fucking stud. And,
Right.
and you're a good team has one or two or even three players that you kind of look at and like, that guy's a fucking baller. I think the teams that are left in the playoffs right now, you can look at them and go, they got some playmakers out there that I definitely want on my team. But I can't think of anybody on the fucking Giants that I want on the Jets right now. Can you?
Saquon?
What for? I got Breece Hall.
I agree, but I'm saying that if you're going to name people, I would take Saquon Barkley any day of the week.
Right. Well, so do you take him and his payroll to sacrifice him?
No, not at all. No. I thought they were just like handing people over, like, hey, we're folding up the team. Who wants these guys?
I would take Saquon. I mean, he's good, but I still wouldn't start him over Breece Hall.
No, I would. No,
he'd be Breece Hall. He'd be splitting time with Breece Hall, and he'd probably be the backup to a certain degree. Breece Hall just being younger and less injured, it creates that opening.
I think it would definitely enable you to utilize different plays. I mean, if you're pounding it up the middle, then you go to Saquon. If you want to play where you need something extended with the legs and the speed, then you go in Breece Hall.
But usually these big teams, they've got more than one guy that you're sitting there going, nah, I'll take that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then some people who are haters of the Jets will sit there and be like, oh, so you're saying you wouldn't take Cousins or Daniel Jones? I would say I'd take him, but I'm not sitting there going, oh, I need that guy. That guy's
I don't think either one is like an attractive, like, oh man, I wish I had this guy.
Right. Yeah. If you're sitting there ranking your top 5 guys that you would take, I don't think there's any Giant that you would be like, I gotta have that guy. Vikings, you want Jefferson.
Yeah.
But anybody else in that team, you're really sitting there thirsty over? Like,
no, I mean, it's, and the funny thing is, I think Giant fans just kind of Eli'd themselves in the reverse. You know how they were kind of crapping on Eli Manning, and then they ended up winning a Super Bowl, and they wanted to keep him around forever because, oh my God, he brought a Super Bowl here after shitting on him for the whole season. I mean, Giant fans this year, after a couple weeks of, Danny Dimes winning, they were all on his jock. Like, yeah, you got to extend him now. I mean, we thought he was on his way out the door, but this is awesome. After that performance against the Eagles, where, I mean, they weren't even competitive. Let's call it what it is. They were not competitive, and most of that comes from who was, getting the ball hiked to him. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't generate any offense. And listen, we could sit there and run down the offensive coordinator because they might not have put a winning game plan together. But listen, they were competitive against the Eagles the 2 times that they met the season. In the playoffs, it was a shit show. So the only thing you could really do is sit there and say, I guess Daniel Jones wasn't ready for the pressure.
Honestly, I just think it's exposure. I don't think that they were ever that good in the first place. Again, 2 of the luckiest teams in the NFL were the Vikings and the Giants. So one of them was going to get unlucky for a change for the season. Right? But I was not remotely surprised when the Giants went up against the Eagles and just got waxed because the Eagles have not been lucky. They've been good.
They've been real good.
You know what I'm saying? Good. I told, and you know what? Rook's gonna hate me. I said it all season. By the way, Rook is running a little late. He's out rooting against the Rangers right now. So we wanted to have a little start early so that we could talk positive about the Rangers before Rook
the mojo, like get the bad mojo out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and Rook's gonna hate it. But I said it all year. I'm like, dude, there's nobody on this Giants team that I'm sitting there going, that guy's a stud. It turns out it's Dexter Lawrence. He's the stud. But how many teams have a defensive tackle that's the stud and they're competitive? And he's the only stud they have. The Jets have a stud at DT. They also got a stud at corner. They got a stud at wide receiver. They have a few other
running back.
Of line. They got a stud at running back. They have a few studs, but the Giants have one stud and he's the defensive tackle. How much could he possibly fucking do to positively change the game?
You're not putting your team on the back and generating wins from that position.
Exactly. And I'm not saying they don't need him. I'm not saying that. He's the driving
integral part, sure. But you're never going to do something that's going to change the season. You might do something that'll change the dynamic of the game. You're not changing the season. You're not the fucking water boy. You're not coming in and it's like, the water boy's in the game. They're going to hold nothing back. That doesn't happen. We're living in reality. Adam Sandler cannot run the football.
But I was not remotely surprised that the Giants got exposed or that the Vikings got exposed.
I think the Vikings being exposed, it was a little more surprising just because they were definitely a more competitive team. I agree with the lucky aspect of it and having things fall into place for them.
Better wide receiver, better quarterback. They should have won the game.
Yes. The Giants, the streak was going to end at some point. Not to be a miserable Jet fan and try to, put my depression on Giant fans, but if you're going to sit here and say that you thought that they had the team to go to the Super Bowl with, you're a liar. My friends that are real Giant fans, and somebody like Rook, especially, you'll sit there and be like, hey, I'm glad we got where we got. That's a win. But, I wish we would have went further. That's the truth right there. You're happy with where you got. You made it to the playoffs. You got through the playoffs a little bit, and you're excited that you got to see some playoff football. There's nothing wrong with that, especially the way the team was built. That nobody in the beginning of the year, if you had a bet to if the Giants were going to make the playoffs or not, most people are not taking the Giants to make the playoffs.
You're right. So
the under-over was 5 for them this year.
Yeah, I think more than that, 7. They were better than the Jets.
Were they? Okay, so they might have been like 6.5 then.
So Jaguars lose to the Chiefs by 7. Competitive game. Patrick Mahomes gets injured. Little ankle sprain.
Dude, I want to ask you. Dude, the way it looked, and me and my cousin were watching the game talking about it. I thought it was his knee. I thought he tweaked his knee. Just because, his leg was facing forward and his friggin' the right side of his shin was touching the ground. I could have sworn it was his knee. And then when they said high ankle sprain, my cousin made a pretty smart comment that was, made sense. It's like they tape up his ankle, but they shoot the shit out of his knee with cortisone shots so they can't get sued saying, like, how would you put this guy back in the game? He clearly tore his ACL. You know what I mean? And Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes, he's not going to fucking tell anybody. He's out there to game and play, and he wants a championship. So I was actually very surprised. And then when it came out, high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains are devastating. It's hard to walk. Any athlete that has had a high ankle sprain will tell you that, it's amazing that nothing's broken, but you feel like that bad about it. You feel like shit. So I am happy that it's not his knee, but I still thought a little sketchy the way he hurt himself. I really... In the back of my mind, there's still like a 5-10% chance. I believe that he hurt his knee, and they're just playing it off like it's his ankle.
So, fucking Chiefs don't cover the spread. Fuck them.
That
But
did suck.
Jaguars lose as they should because they're just not.
Yeah.
Very surprised that the Chiefs didn't.
Old
blow them
Easter Island heads out of the playoffs.
out. So here's my question with the Giants and the Jaguars losing, right? I think if you ask their fans,
Bush?
no,
Oh,
I would say, if I'm going to presume that their fans are very, very happy to have made the playoffs. That's what I'm going to assume.
I don't know.
They should be.
I still think that every fan base has 50% like stupid rate, so you're still gonna have at least half the fan base being like, "This is bullshit. We should have killed it."
My question is, teams. I'm sorry, but teams like the Jaguars, teams like the Giants, that flat out to me, they just weren't that good this year, but they made the playoffs anyway. Go figure. They won a playoff game by accident. Go figure. Do you think they hurt themselves more than they helped themselves by making the playoffs?
It depends on how much stock you put into your young talent on the team. How much stock you put into experience? Because I think the experience aspect is great for the players moving forward. If you're not going to finish, bottom 4 or 5. Does it really matter when it comes to draft pick? I don't know. So if you're already going to be somewhere in like the 16th pick first round, does it matter that you drop down to 25th? Maybe a little bit, but not as much as I would bank on the experience that you get for being in the playoffs and getting your young kids to see it. Now, if you're a team that's like 2 years away from blowing it up and rebuilding because you have no young talent, then yeah, it definitely dicks you out. But I think I'd still, if I have a young team or younger team, I'd take the playoff experience over the draft pick.
I don't know. I'm looking at the Giants. I don't see any of their fucking young talent. Who's their young talent?
Yeah.
Avon Thibodeau, who wasn't that impressive this year and is pretty much an asshole. I mean, they traded their other first round pick, right?
Right.
Second pick, they traded him away. Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Playing on the Chiefs right now, and he's mediocre over there as well. Walking around looking like fucking Smokey from the PJs. So I mean, I don't. Who is the Giants' young talent that they supposedly have? Because they have no wide receivers. Kenny Golladay is about to get released. They have no wide receivers. Their tight ends are mediocre, right? They're running Lawrence Cager, a cut from the New York Jets out there.
Yeah.
Their offensive line's half decent. I think they're half decent. I wouldn't say they're the best offensive line in the world. They're half decent, but they really have no playmakers on offense. And this is an offense-driven league.
Yeah. I mean, as a fan, you still want to see your team go to the playoffs, but in that sense, yeah, I mean, of course, you'd rather like, hey, we finished dead last. Give us the first pick overall.
I mean,
especially with your quarterback probably making an exit now after, or at least if he's signing a deal, he's signing like a 2 to 3 year stay and play for your position, and that's it. Like, they're definitely going to be looking for somebody else.
Yeah, and so the other, so I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, the Jets are kind of in a better position, other than the offensive line, which I think can be fixed in this year's draft if we keep our first round pick. Yeah. Guys stay healthy. The Jets have more talent on offense and defense, young talent at least, than the Giants do. The Jets are a quarterback away from being a championship contender.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. I just don't see how making the playoffs, like, to me, when you make the playoffs, all you do is get a worse draft pick. Like, if you're not going to go and make it all the way, then all you did was just get a worse draft pick.
I think it hurts more in the NFL compared to, like, I see, my number one sports, the NHL. And I mean, look what making the playoffs last year did for the Rangers. Just, letting these young kids see what that looks like and making a run as they did. That's immensely more important but the NHL is a completely different animal.
Yeah, I was going to say baseball, hockey, and the NBA. The playoffs are not 3 games.
Right.
They're not. The playoffs are not 3. They're multiple games. It's the stress of going through a series of games.
Yeah.
And every day, if you make it to the second round or third round of those games, and I'm talking about draw it out. You're talking about playing an extra maybe 10 games, 12 games. As opposed to in the NFL where, like, oh, you just played one extra game and then got blown out in the second game.
Right.
Was that experience worth it?
Right. On top of the fact that there's a big difference between playing 82 games and 95 games versus playing 17 and 18 and a half games.
There, and that's the thing. And so I'm just kind of just in my head, I'm like, okay, the Giants made the playoffs, the Jags made the playoffs. Great for this year. What does it mean for next year?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, are they in a position where they can continue this, or does it kind of hurt them in the long-term developmental plan?
Jags can continue this.
But they might have a
Giants is, I mean, there's trouble in paradise. Who's their fucking quarterback?
Who's their running back?
Right.
I mean, I honestly don't think that Saquon's going to sign back with them. And I heard that they're trying to sign Daniel Jones to a longer deal, and I don't think that's worth it. I mean,
You're only going to invite a problem in this town with everybody expecting Daniel Jones this to be his last year, and yet he was able to manufacture a serviceable game because, let's face it, he wasn't fucking amazing this season. He got wins, which is great. That's all you need out of him. But a lot of that was games where Saquon Barkley went off, right? I mean, Daniel Jones was able to manage the game and not make mistakes.
I still don't know how they did it.
Right. It's
like I said, better.
Most Giant fans, I don't think, want Daniel Jones in this town, especially if you said at the end of this season, 22 into 23, we're getting rid of Daniel Jones at the end of this year. Preseason, everybody would be like, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, that's the plan. That's what we're waiting for.
Drunkards out.
You swayed more people.
So there are some drunkards out there saying, no, Daniel Jones, take my eyes, but not the quarterback. Like, but anybody with a head on their shoulders is like, I think we can do better.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? Having that mindset, if you think that you can do better, hey, you think you can go do better? Go do better. But I was looking at it going like, these guys made the playoffs. Are they? I didn't think they were that good in the first place. And now they made the playoffs, and they're maybe not the Giants, because I think the Giants are going to end up in last place in the NFC East next season anyway. I mean, with the way the Cowboys, the Eagles, and
dude. So speaking about the Cowboys, real quick, and how we're just kind of shitting on quarterbacks in general, Dak Prescott. What do you think the situation is moving forward with the Cowboys? Because I mean, the Cowboys, it seems like, are kind of trolling their own quarterback at this point.
I saw a thing today where Cowboys fans were like, so I think we need to get rid of Dak, and we need to get rid of Ezekiel Elliott, and we need to sign Pollard to a long deal. And Micah Parsons tweeted something. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but then he came out and he was like, if you guys think I was talking about my quarterback, you're fucking high.
Dude, this is the second time that dude has tweeted something out and had to be, I'm assuming, corrected by his peers and his team. Because he tweeted out something else that happened earlier in the year that had some kind of like cop and military connotation. Oh, sorry, the Brittany Griner thing. I believe he said something like, "You're really telling me that we gave up the Merchant of Death for a WNBA player, and we're still leaving a military man over there," and then like backtracked immediately because people are like, "Oh, fuck you, Uncle Tom," all the bullshit that happens on fucking social media when you don't go with the liberal narrative.
I like your uncle. I like your dad.
He's not my uncle.
Well, he's mine.
It's on you.
Just saying.
And he had to backtrack immediately, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did it again. Because, I mean, and I feel like Micah Parsons felt very strongly that, like, no, that's bullshit. You don't leave our military personnel in enemy hands. And he tried to, like, he tried to play the PC game because these guys are under a microscope, and, you can't upset the status quo and the wokeism, especially in the NFL. Not that they actually believe any of that shit. They'll wear pink cleats for breast cancer, but not donate a single fucking cent to breast cancer research. It's a game to them. It's bullshit. It's been proven multiple times. So I think he might have been talking about his quarterback and gotten told, like, hey, this is the PR team. Don't do that.
Yeah, walk it back.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, it's possible. But again, it seems like some Cowboy fans are done with Dak. The honeymoon is over. He got the big contract. We
were shitting on him all year. Did we not say all year? Like, and especially when what's his name came in when Dak got hurt and did a good job, that he's replaceable. He's very easy. He's not the guy that, he's not the, hey, let's put him on the cover of Madden. Like, no, the Cowboys have that weight. They hold that weight in the NFL to where if they say this guy's the stud, they're, Cowboys are America's team. And I think that star, no pun intended, is starting to fade a little bit because they haven't really been relevant, since the days of Emmitt Smith. But I think that it's everybody's figuring out like that Dak is not the guy. And if you can bring somebody else in and generate more offense, then maybe he's actually hurting you.
Yeah. I mean, that's possible. The Cowboys lost this week to the San Francisco 49ers, 19-12 with Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy throwing down for the San Francisco team.
Crazy, huh?
In the playoffs, isn't it? Dallas versus San Fran. That's a classic playoff matchup.
Definitely. But what's not classic is having a fucking guy that's only started like 5 games in his career, 6 games in his career, smoke your all-time quarterback, right? Dak Prescott, the man, the myth, the legend. No, he's our guy. You got embarrassed by a rookie, a guy that, hasn't skinned his knees on the field yet.
Mr. Irrelevant. Let's talk about that for a second. Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year projections come out. Sauce Gardner, obviously up there, top 3 with Aiden Hutchinson and who's the other? And Woolen, Tariq Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks. I almost said Supersonics. Wow,
nice.
Totally different sport. Team don't even exist anymore. But right on. Offensive Rookie of the Year conversation involves Garrett Wilson, the running back for the Seattle Seahawks. I can't recall his name right now off the top of my head, but it also involves Brock Purdy. And some people are saying, hey, my vote goes to Purdy. Purdy played 7 games in the regular season.
Right.
7 games. There's 17 games in a season. He played 7, and he's up for consideration.
If that's the case, then you better get Breece Hall up in there.
And I think a lot of people are saying that.
But if Breece Hall played 15 out of 17 games, he's winning it this year. At the pace he was, if he doesn't miss a step and is carrying the ball as much as he did in this, he last 6 games this season?
About 7, yeah.
Right? If he carried the ball like that and got the touches he did and the yards he was getting and the touchdowns that would have come, to average it out for 15 games, that's your offensive Rookie of the Year.
Like 120 yards overall.
Yeah.
Yards.
Dude, if you don't think so, you're a fucking idiot. He's the offensive Rookie of the Year, but by an easy decision.
He was averaging about 120 yards per game plus a touchdown, maybe a touchdown and a half. So anybody sitting there saying Brock Purdy, listen, it's a beautiful story. It really is. All right. But I think personally, what we're seeing in San Francisco is very similar to what we saw from New England for many years, where they plugged a new quarterback in whenever Brady got injured, and that guy looked like a stud until he got to his next team. And I could say that with Matt Castle, and we can say that with Jacoby, I believe it was Jacoby Brissett was also on the Patriots, and he looked like a damn fine quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo looked like a franchise quarterback, and now he's about to get kicked off his new franchise for not living up to the hype that surrounded him when he was with the Patriots.
It's he can't live up to playing the games because he gets injured constantly.
Well, I mean, there is that too, but is he that sexy, or is he just Kirk Cousins?
No, I think he's better than Kirk Cousins. I think he's.
I disagree.
Talent-wise, I think he's definitely in the mid to upper side of the thing. It's just it drops you down immediately when you can't stay a full season.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't feel that he's anything to that's special. He's as mid as Kirk Cousins and the majority of the Giants team. Just nothing to write home about. Like, he'll get a job.
But if you told me that I'm going to have a guaranteed, let's say Jets are giving out a 2-year contract, either Kirk Cousins or Jimmy G, and I get a guarantee that Jimmy G plays all 17 games each season, I'm taking Jimmy G.
I'm not. There are a lot of gadget plays out there in San Francisco, whereas, and that's why they have Deebo Samuel. So you need a guy that plays wide receiver and running back at the same time, as opposed to Justin Jefferson that's just going out there receiving passes, and now he's up for NFL MVP as a wide receiver because who's throwing him the ball?
Right.
So I'm taking the guy that's throwing the ball. Like me personally, call me old fashioned. I'm the guy that sits there and goes, everybody has a defined role on this team. Everybody has a defined role, right? And that's why I have very little affection for Justin Fields, because as a quarterback, his role is defined as somebody who throws the fucking ball, and he does not do that effectively. So then you don't really play your position. It's like having a kicker who's an amazing punter, but he can't kick.
Right.
Great. Too bad we already have a fucking punter, and you suck at kicking. Like, oh, great. You have other skill sets that I don't need. Awesome. Like, it's nice to have, but it's not your main focus. That's not your main job, you know? It's like being a pitcher who hits well for a pitcher, or a catcher who runs well for a catcher. Oh, well, he's really fast. He can't catch worth a goddamn, but he can fucking run. Great. Awesome. You know? So to me, like, having a guy that can throw the ball as a quarterback, sit in the pocket, throw the ball, and you don't have to run the gadgets. You don't have to run the Deebo Samuel offense where you have a running back for a wide receiver and you're putting him in peril, because let's be honest, receivers live a lot longer lives than running backs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not into the whole gadget play. Go out there, run a fucking post and throw it. I'm old. I know. I get it. I'd rather be old these days than young. That's for sure. At least old people don't eat fucking Tide Pods on purpose.
That is true. We don't.
Moving forward, we're talking this week. Got the Bills lost. How's Brian taking that?
See, and I haven't really brought it up to him because I don't want to be the guy to be a dick. But I told him the week before, I'm like, I told you earlier in the year, dude, you struggled against shitty teams on games you needed to win inside your division. And just because you had enough wins to get into the playoffs doesn't mean that those aren't games that you shouldn't be able to make a statement on. And you lose to the Jets and the Dolphins, and then you barely skate by the Dolphins without Tua. Like, you cannot be confident going through the playoffs. And you know what? Every Bills fan and Bills Mafia and all, you know, we're going to fucking kill everybody and we're the best. No, you're not the best.
I hate that Bill Mafia shit. You guys are from fucking Canada. You're not known for the mafia. You're known for chicken wings, okay? You guys could be
and ugly women.
Wingettes. Yeah, and ugly women. You guys could be the Bills wingettes. You can't be the mafia is New York City. 5 families, that's a New York City thing. You guys live in fucking Canada, all right? You can't be the Bills Mafia. That's not a thing.
Nah.
Like, Chicago can call themselves like the Chicago mob or mafia. I'm okay with that. They're known for having a mafia as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Even Jersey's known for a mafia, but I think they're more of a fucking glorified crew.
Organization, if you will.
But the fucking Buffalo, I'm not sitting here saying that Buffalo doesn't have a mafia. I'm saying that's not what you're known for. It'd be like California Pizza Kitchen. I'm not getting that shit because California ain't known for pizza.
That's true.
This doesn't
the
make
funny
sense.
thing is, it's, and I get it, and I don't want to sound old, but like, you know, the antics of being a college kid doing stupid stuff. So the Bills Mafia's claim to fame is jumping through fucking tables, you know, tailgating, and everybody there is like the spry young age of 47 doing it. It's like, you're a fucking idiot.
Shots out of ugly girls' ass cracks.
Yeah. Like, guess what? The rest of the world has to go to work tomorrow because tomorrow's Monday. So I'm not throwing myself through a fucking table and landing on the concrete after imbibing, you know, 78 Molson's and fucking, you know, I mean, what's a cheap Canadian beer since they're up there? That thought Labatt. And I hate shitting on Labatt because they make an awesome beer. I enjoy a Labatt Blue every once in a while when I go to a hockey game.
That Blue is not Labatt. That's Labatt Blue. It's like fucking Natty Ice.
It's still good. I don't know. Maybe that's my hockey fan in me. But whatever. I mean, like, seriously, like, oh, we jump through tables. We're badasses. You're a fucking idiot. I mean, I guess that's what you do for fun when you live in a place that snows 4 feet a fucking week, you know, for like 6 months out of the year. Like, great. That's awesome. That sounds like so much fun.
I still can't figure out how Buffalo has a team. Their population is like the size of Staten Island.
The only team actually located in New York. Isn't that sad?
But they don't represent New York. They represent Buffalo, which they don't play in Buffalo. They play in Orchard Park.
Right.
Right? Because if they represented New York, they'd call themselves the New York Bills, which I also don't understand why they're called the Bills. Buffalo Bill died in Rochester, and he wasn't from New York.
No, not at all.
So why are they the Buffalo Bills? last time I checked, Buffalo, the city's not even named after the fucking animal, which, by the way, is called a bison, not a buffalo. A buffalo is from Africa, and it looks like a sickly cow. All right, water buffalo. Yeah, a bison is what we have in New York, in America, and that's not why it's called Buffalo. It's called Buffalo because of like the river that's nearby. That's called Buffalo, which is something in fucking French. Another thing to hate about Buffalo because I don't like French.
Goddamn French.
Call me Pete. Call me politically incorrect. I don't give a shit. Fuck France.
I agree. I mean, if you don't hate France, I mean, just tune out of the podcast. We don't need you.
Speak fucking surrender. Cheese eating surrender monkeys.
Oh my god, it's so funny to hate on the French. It really is. It never gets old. I mean, we've only been doing it for like 200 something years.
Every time I watch Euro Trip and I hear Vinnie Jones go do the frogs in Paris, I'm like, yeah, do them. Do the fucking the frogs in Paris.
Hey, that guy got a frog football jersey on. Let's give him a right good kicking.
Yeah, good time.
Runs away holding his bag of baguettes.
I'll sing the Manchester United fucking theme song.
My baby.
Take the morning train. Pretty good.
Absolutely.
Back to football. We're getting distracted.
Oh, no, I thought we were going to shit on the French.
No, we're good. We're good. Lafreniere gets enough heat. So the Bills
he's Canadian, isn't he?
He's French Canadian.
So the Canadian part wins.
The worst part of Canada, French Canada.
I mean, yeah.
Watching
we go down that road too.
Grassy High and fucking Joey got his girlfriend stolen by a dude named Claude.
Oh,
and he's like, "You mean Claude?" She's like,
"Special guest is here."
Claude.
Don't forget about our special guest there, Nick.
Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen, special guest, one night only. Anthony the Rook, live and almost in color. He's on audio only tonight. He doesn't want to be associated with this podcast, and therefore will not show his face.
Is his last name Troyes or is it Toi? Is he French?
I'm not French. I'm not French.
You sure?
Am I in yet? Am I in?
You're in.
All right. What's up, boys? Thanks for having me on the show. Pleasure being a guest.
He sounds like a Frenchman. Get him out of here.
No, Troyes is not French. It used to be. It's Italian. It used to be Tracy. We are not French.
Prove it.
These colors don't run.
Your pizza right now. Prove it.
I don't surrender.
I don't know. It seems like you've surrendered on this podcast. We don't even get to see Nick's face. We don't even get to see your face. We just get to see a little circle that goes boom, 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 boom when you talk. It's bullshit.
He changed his voice.
Dude, we can't even. You know what? We can't even confirm that it's actually Rook. You know, I think we have a Damar Hamlin situation where it's like, was he really at the game? Conspiracy.
Let's talk about that. Hold on for a second.
Conspiracy about the wait. I've been very busy. I had COVID for a while. Then the kids had COVID. Then I'm moving. This is literally the only time I have is between leaving work from teaching class
and touching yourself
to my house.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you this right now. I've never seen COVID thrive like it has in your home.
I agree.
It is. It sucked because I guess it was good because like if I was the way I was and the kids had COVID, I don't know how I was taking care of them. So the fact that it actually layered out, went from my wife to me, to my youngest daughter, to my oldest daughter, actually worked out because I was able to take care of one individually.
So
it's better.
What township do you actually live in Jersey? Is it Wuhan?
It's Wuhan. There's a zero COVID policy.
Yeah. Are you behind gated fences? I'm surprised you're allowed to teach. Are you teaching through a fence and plexiglass right now?
I'm not allowed to teach women. Just kidding.
Right.
Just kidding.
A weird place to go with it.
No, Nick doesn't get it.
Nick doesn't.
Sounds like you're gonna.
He's only allowed to teach them if he's teaching them how to put together Nikes.
I gotta say, like I think you're gonna have to make a Micah Parsons like apology later.
I don't think so. There's no apologizing on this podcast.
There's no apology. It's a communist joke. You'll get it. If you know communism, you'll get it.
But
if you don't get communism, you will eventually because it'll get forced on you.
Yeah.
Much to Rook's dismay, the Rangers are winning 2-1. He's been rooting against them all season.
I have not been. I don't know
He
why
has. He definitely has.
Why you started this rumor? It is a lie. I won't stand for it. It's
All right.
not true.
But TJ does have an interesting take. Apparently, there's some news with regarding to Damar Hamlin, and I guess TJ has some more to say about that.
So there's been a lot of hate on it on Twitter, and I understand the situation. Damar's been through enough, but everybody is questioning the fact that while his family was there at the game, you never actually see his face, and they specifically had a camera set up to when he was going up to the suite entering the stadium, and he breezed right by him to where he kind of was covering his face, wearing his hood up, had a face mask on. When they showed him up in the box, it was like a grainy, like sort of, is that him or is that Bigfoot? Like in that sort of like, hey, there's a dude behind the tree over there way. Very questionable. So it sparked a conspiracy theory going around the Twitterverse, if you will, of was Damar Hamlin there at the game at all? Because a lot of people seem to think, like, is that really where you want to be 3 weeks after you died on the field? Like, are you going to be in the shape to return out and about and be in, amongst, people in normal situation and not having your heart monitored somewhere, even if it's just home with some kind of at-home nursing thing, which I think is a good question posed. I find it very odd that you can't see his face at all at any point, and they cut away from it a lot. Not that it's odd that they didn't ask him a question, but you'd think that if he's going to show up to the game, he'd at least make a statement like, thank you so much for all the support. I love you guys. We have the greatest fans in the world, and thank you to the medical staff. Something, just a little bit of something, because you're already there. Maybe you don't want to make it about you, which is fine, but you think they would have push that angle a little more. So I don't believe the conspiracy theory at all. I think he was really there, but I love how people can formulate it to make it make sense. And the conspiracy theorists on Twitter have definitely made it make sense, and it's very interesting to read about, and then people just piss people off with, because people are very angry at this one, because you have the people that go further down the rabbit hole of like, nah, he's dead. He died in 1997.
Wait. I have a thing. You guys ever see Deal or No Deal?
No, never. What's that?
What's that?
So Deal or No Deal is a TV show, and they always have like the banker. The banker's always
You're really
up.
explaining it?
I don't know. Did you know what it was or no?
Like Howie Mandel. Yeah, we haven't been living in fucking Siberia with no TVs, guy. Come on.
They were showing him like he was the banker.
Yes.
They were showing he was the banker. He was just up in there like a silhouette. And he kept doing the heart thing. It could have been anyone.
Listen, I'm not trying to make light of his situation, and I think his story about him overcoming this is amazing, and I'm happy he's still here today.
Yep.
But at the same time, if you can't sit here and speculate, and the evidence that you have in front of you is so questionable, let's go with what it is. This year, we found out that the CIA may have played a role in the assassination of John F. Kennedy. If you can't fake somebody being at a stadium, I don't know what else to tell you.
And I've seen a hologram of fucking ODB rap with fucking RZA and Method Man.
It's a fact.
It would have done better if they were going to just get somebody else to play Damar Hamlin. But I think the whole thing is pretty fucking interesting. Somebody needs to call, maybe fucking call former Governor Jesse the Body Ventura to debunk
conspiracy. I'm in Minnesota. I live in a tree. Oh, God. That's all the time we have for Rook, so say goodbye.
Yeah, all right, guys. I'll see you later.
Poor Rook was too busy explaining what Deal or No Deal was.
Well, I can't see your faces. I'm driving, so I'm like, is he serious right now? He doesn't know what Deal or No Deal is?
All I want to hear right now is,
You ruined the joke, too.
Get out of the car, sir. Put your hands up. Oh, he's reaching for something.
I don't want to hear that. That's fucking awesome.
That's so fucked up.
Taking care of his fucking wife and kids. Get the fuck out.
I mean, maybe, just maybe if that happened, right? There'd be a lot less COVID going around in that fucking house.
Wow.
It's so fucked up.
That's so mean. I'm sorry, Rook. I love you.
You may hear
dude.
You're more likely to hear me hydroplaying because it's fucking terrible out right now. It's like pouring. It's like, and then just crash into a wall.
Oh, that wouldn't be good because we'd have to listen to that and be like, Rook, you okay?
Yeah.
Where are you? Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Get the ratings up for sure. That's for certain.
Yeah, outside of the live podcast.
Oh my God! Instead of where in the world is Carmen San Diego, where in a ditch is fucking Rook?
That would be a full shoot, not even like a work. It would be a shoot that became a work.
All right.
But-
well.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right,
we
guys,
can't really
great
kill him
talking to
off
you
because
again.
unless one of us murders our family, there's no way of him coming back.
All right, that's it for me, guys. I'll see you. Thank you very much for having me on the podcast.
Oh shit!
Well, I do want to talk about one thing, TJ. I
Go ahead,
think this
buddy.
is hilarious. Is that the Patrick Reed, Rory McIlroy drama?
So we were getting into that. We were definitely getting into that. Should we you want to?
No, I wanted to finish the NFL. Let's talk about a little Aaron Rodgers
Yes.
speculation.
So, can we? Yeah. Let's get into Aaron Rodgers
did you guys-
speculation.
Did you guys talk about the Giants yet?
Of
Yeah,
course we did.
All over the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants sucked that game. Very disappointing. But I do want to say, positivity after watching that game. It was a great season. They overachieved. Made a couple changes. We have our coach. I think we have our quarterback. Give him a semi-team friendly deal. Give him some money, but not too much, so we can always escape from him if he ends up going back and regressing back to the real Daniel Jones. And then bring some pieces here. We need some wide receivers, and I think some positive look at the Giants. You guys suck. You guys suck.
Started sitting there going, I think we have our quarterback with Daniel. Daniel Jones is still not good.
He's good at Dable's offense, so
No, he's not. He's not. What is he good doing?
he has hit 700 yards rushing and over 3,000 yards passing in the first
job.
time in his
His job is to
career.
throw the football.
He had a much better year. He took care of the football. He only had 7 turnovers the entire year.
And then having a
Dak
better
Prescott had 15. Dak
just makes you less
Prescott-
shit. You're still
15.
fit.
Don't tell me you'd rather have Dak Prescott as your quarterback over Daniel Jones at this point.
Eager Oaken.
What?
What?
Exactly. You're yelling in the car phone and it's not picking up the right way, Rook. You need to calm down. It sounds like you're trying to order a dozen sugar pucks. It's not coming through.
I want to yell at you people. I'll yell at you another time.
Oh, what do you mean, you people?
Wow.
You mean people that show up for the podcast? Those kind of people?
Oh, shit. Got him.
So let's talk about the Irish.
That's fine. If you're listen, let's be real. If you're going to shit on any type of ethnic group, if you pick on the Irish, nobody's going to sit there and fucking argue with you. You can walk into an Irish bar and be like, "Fuck you, fucking Irish," and everybody be like, "Yeah, That's what history has said." You buying, motherfucker, or get out?
All right, we'll go on to the next thing. Did you guys see that trade proposal for Aaron Rodgers?
That's the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, I've seen some pretty shitty things on Twitter. That was horrible.
That's
I'll
what
just explain.
go. And like you went back in time 10 minutes to talk about the Giants again.
Yeah. So I sent TJ and Nick a Twitter proposal because everyone loves doing this in the offseason.
From a Green Bay fan. Let's put it out there. It was clearly from a Green Bay fan.
It was clearly a Green Bay fan. It was the Jets get Aaron Rodgers. The Packers will get the 2022 and the 2023 first-round pick from the Jets, Quinnen Williams, and Sauce Gardner.
Good asshole.
It's the most ridiculous. First of all, the trade that they would never include Sauce Gardner in that trade.
Never.
Even if it was straight up Sauce Gardner for Aaron Rodgers.
A 1 to 2 year rental for Sauce Gardner. Not a fucking chance.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Who just achieved something that no other cornerback has achieved in like 40 years.
It's just the worst time. The offseason is the worst because it's just people giving these horribly wrong and horribly never gonna happen trade.
The funniest thing though is these fucking fans that think that like if you really thought that highly of Aaron Rodgers, you wouldn't be giving him up, would you?
That's a fact.
No.
Like, do you really think he's worth fucking essentially 4 first-round picks?
Essentially. Yeah.
10 years ago, yeah.
Right.
But 10 years ago, you're not trading him 10 years ago.
Dude, it's a clown show. You think these fucking Green Bay fans want to rebuild their franchise off of one fucking trade? They have no football IQ whatsoever.
So let's talk about that. I think a reasonable trade for Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah,
is a second round pick this year and a conditional third next year. If the Jets make it to the AFC Championship game next season, they get a second round pick. If they win the Super Bowl, you get a first round pick. At his age, it's not worth he's not worth 2 first round picks.
The only way it would be worth a bump up into, and I like that trade proposal, obviously coming from the Jet side of things. The only way he'd be worth it is how much you count the money, because I believe that essentially the Jets would only have to pay like $15 million per year for him, and the Green Bay Packers
this upcoming season. For the rest.
Right. So, I mean, how much stock do you put in saving them, $20 million for 1 year? How much is that worth? Is it worth bumping it up to a first round pick right away? Possibly. But it's how bad do you want him? But I don't think you're definitely not giving him Sauce fucking Garner for anything.
You're not giving anybody you just drafted in the last 2 years.
Not a chance.
I'd gladly give them Elijah Moore.
You can have Elijah Moore in a second round pick. Have fun.
Take Elijah Moore, a second round pick, and a conditional third next year.
Yeah.
And that way we still keep our first this season. We get Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think we're winning the Super Bowl next season. I don't think we may not win the Super Bowl this season.
I think they get to the playoffs if they have Aaron Rodgers.
100% they get to the playoffs. 100% if they get to the playoffs, I think
and that's the thing you got to think as a fan, as far as money goes. Even if they make it one game of the playoffs, how much is that worth to Woody Johnson? Because I guarantee you it's probably worth more than $15 million.
I agree. So the question, I guess, what I thought was interesting was Joe Namath came out and said that if they get Aaron Rodgers, he'll unretire his number 12.
Wow.
That might break the curse.
That might.
Oh. Yeah.
That might break the curse. And then maybe Joe D. Maybe then Joe Namath doesn't have to die.
Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't want to have to die or if the Jets win a Super Bowl in his lifetime. So he's like,
do you think you think that?
You know what I do think? I think it's like Indiana Jones and the what's it called? What was the third one called? The Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade.
Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade, where they take the Holy Grail and then the Knights Templar that's guarding it, like slowly fades into like nothingness. I think that's what happens. I think Joe Namath hands over the 12 and it's just like, goodbye.
Do you think he knows that we talk about him dying as like the catalyst for how we're going to win a Super Bowl?
I think that he knew everything was on the fucking downtrend with him once he tried to kiss Susie.
I think he knows because he made that deal with the devil. Of course he knows.
I agree. I think he knows because the devil said your team will never win again as long as you're alive.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep you alive as long as possible. It doesn't fucking make sense, guys. It doesn't make sense. He lived a life very similar to Mickey Mantle, and he's about 8 years younger than the Mick was. And he's somehow living like 25 years longer than Mickey did. All right. Pele is 3 years older than him, and he's fucking dead. He never did a bad thing in his life. This guy drank his life away.
And he's Susan Colbert.
How fucking possible?
He's a fucking winner. That's how.
Oh, yeah, because Pele was a big fucking loser.
Yeah, Pele won like.
I'm just saying, and let's not run down Mickey Mantle, okay? Because most of us will never get to drink through 2 livers. Okay, that's a fucking legend.
Clap it up for Mickey Mantle.
Quitters don't quit, folks. Quitters don't quit.
Wait, you guys ever see the Mickey Mantle?
No, sorry, winners don't quit. I fucked that up. I'm an asshole.
Did you guys ever see the Mickey Mantle meme? It was like it's a meme now, but it's a viral letter. They asked him what his favorite moment in Yankee Stadium was, and he was like, "This blonde gave me a blowjob." In the underneath like the right field bleachers.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
And then he goes, then I came in her mouth, and she asked me what to do with it. And I told her, I don't know about a cocksucker.
I knew somebody was going to bring this up. And I'm ready. All right. So I'll share it now. It has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but, Rook brought it up.
Taking a turn.
We're taking it's going to be a laugh.
Dude, it's amazing. You know what? Rook must have just passed over the outer bridge and hit Jersey because Night Nurse is from Jersey, hit his brain, and he wanted to take this sexual.
I'm on the turnpike and I'm looking for love.
So the was, and you can see it on our video, that basically the PR guy for the Yankees sent out a letter to these players with this little form to fill out asking what their favorite moment at Yankee Stadium was on the occasion of its 50th anniversary. And the question was, what do you consider to be the most outstanding experience at Yankee Stadium? To which Mickey replied, I got a blowjob under the right field bleachers by the Yankee bullpen. The next question was, when did this
like
event
near the Yankee bullpen, or did the Yankees bullpen blow him?
nearby.
All right. Here comes Whitey Ford walking out. Whitey's turn.
Oh God,
That's really funny. And they asked, when did this take place?
Look me in the eye, Whitey.
Give as much detail as you can. Jesus Christ. It was about the third or fourth inning. I had pulled a groin and I couldn't fuck at the time. She was a very nice girl and asked me what to do with the cum after I came in her mouth. I said, don't ask me. I'm no cocksucker. Signed, Mickey Mantle, the All-American boy.
oh my God.
How much do you think that piece of paper would be worth at auction?
Easily $1 million. I
gotta say, you know what? If you don't like Mickey Mantle, man, fuck.
Man. What a story. Mick. Gotta love him.
I got a blow the Yankee bullpen. Whoa, nearby, or they were the one doing it?
It'd been funny if you would have been like, you know what you could do with that? You could spit it in a fucking mason jar and sell it on eBay in about 40 years.
Freeze it to make an ex-Mickey Mantle.
Oh my
Oh
God!
fuck!
DNA. We gotta clone ourselves a new Mickey Mantle.
Can you imagine that?
Yo, imagine like a player getting a blowjob like today. Like that would never happen. Like that could never occur. Like you're not gonna like leave the dugout, go underneath the right field bleachers and get a blowjob because they can't fuck because they pulled their groin. Like, it's never gonna happen. What a time to be alive.
Mark Sanchez ate a hot dog on the middle of the sideline, and people said that they didn't know he would do that after the Babe.
Yeah, they were really pissed. Like people were pissed off about that. The same thing with bitching about the Dolphins head coach possibly vaping on the sideline. Like, oh my God, it's a disgrace to the game. It's like, what?
Even the Georgia Bulldogs during the national championship were eating wings on the sideline. No one gave a shit about that.
What's the difference between Mark Sanchez eating a hot dog and somebody like munching on orange slices because they need a little fucking, vitamin C?
That's a great question. Nothing wrong with a hot dog. It's very American.
It's protein.
I mean, Mickey Mantle got to deliver his hot dog underneath the right field bleachers during the game.
Unfortunately, and much to the happiness of Anthony the Rook, the Maple Leafs, terrible fucking name, have tied it up here in the third period.
I'm rooting for the Rangers. I don't know why you started this rumor.
It's fucking his fault.
Why did you start this rumor? I hate you for it.
I didn't start this rumor, all right? It's a fact of life.
Not a fact of life.
I'm about to call in an anonymous call to the New Jersey State Troopers to be on the lookout for a man driving home on the Garden State Parkway. He's going to say he's a teacher, but he has a whole case of ricin, and he's driving it to D.C.
This is for raising the cost of my eggs, Biden.
You heard it here first. That's a threat, folks. That is a threat. And if my Rangers lose, that will be going on to the fucking Secret Service's email.
What in the haberdashery and the hemoglobin going on here?
But I agree. Bacon and eggs got a lot more expensive. Bullshit.
I mean, yeah, it's
so, God bless you, Nick.
Thank you. Fucking allergies, man. I'm dying over here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's get into it. The PGA. We have possibly, and I think the DP World Tour fucked up royally on this one. God bless you.
Thank you.
We had a situation where Roy McIlroy And Patrick Reed, a little drama. If you didn't know, the Live guys are allowed to play on the DP World Tour, much to the chagrin, as Nick would say, of the PGA Tour. They got told tough fucking luck. We're letting them play. You want to blackball them and screw yourself over, have a good time. We're not doing that bullshit. We'll take them and we'll give them world ranking points so they can make the majors too fucking bad. So Patrick Reed flicked the tee, and the tee apparently had the Aces, which is his Live golf team, on it.
Team.
We did see that team. Better than the Cleeks and the fucking Gimbals and the Creepy Crawlies or whatever other weird names are. But flicks a tee at Rory McIlroy, and some drama ensues. Both of the men were axed, and neither one of them held anything back as far as what took place and transpired. Do you have the quote, Nick, or should I look it up?
I'll give you two
Look
secs.
it up. Did you see the video of it?
I did not see the video of it.
I saw the video.
actually-
It was very ridiculous.
It's actually ridiculous to be upset about it because it's clearly like a joke. I don't think it's even hits Rory McIlroy. He just throws it towards him, and he kind of laughs.
It was in front of him.
Yeah,
So-
they're in front of him.
I think essentially Patrick Reed thought that Rory was going to be cool, and Rory McIlroy's like, "Hey, fuckface, you sent a fucking subpoena to my house on Christmas Eve. Like, I hope you get hit by a bus."
Yeah. I think
Essentially, he's like, "You're suing me."
What ultimately happened was, from what I understood, was that Patrick Reed said hello, to which Rory McIlroy ignored him. And
Rightly so.
Yes.
And Patrick Reed took exception to the fact that he couldn't be cordial on the golf course.
Are you going to be cordial to somebody suing you?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never been sued by anyone.
You're not
Probably
going
not.
there.
I had to say. I mean, I'm kind of a dickhead, so I'd probably say no. But
Yeah. I think
like me, there's only me.
I think their professionalism is one thing, but when somebody's coming after you personally, and I don't even know what the lawsuit's about, honestly. I'm sure it has to do with some of the statements that Rory McIlroy made toward like the players going over to Live. Maybe I can't think of anything that Rory did to him personally.
I don't know, and Rook may be able to speak more on the subject. I don't know if the lawsuit is against Rory McIlroy. It might be against the PGA. And
I think Rory
to go and testify.
Well, Rory McIlroy is like the head of player something or other, or on the board or something. He does something for the PGA where I mean he's essentially towing the company line, but he has like a board like decision making.
It's not really against him personally. It's against the PGA, and he's a representative of the PGA. He's been subpoenaed to represent his organization. It's not personal. It's business.
Right.
You know what I mean? It would be like if you and I are acquainted, right? And I hire you, I contract your business to do something for me, and your business, not you, but your business, your corporation fucking fails me, and now they don't want to do right by me. Well, then I got your corporation. You have to be involved in the corporation. It's not personal. I don't hate you. Like, I just hate your corporation. And we lost
Rook. Wow. He wanted to talk about this, and he bailed.
He bailed. Completely bailed. Here's the video clip of...
he just texted me. Just hitting abutment by Molly Pitcher. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. He lost service. You know, like a Jersey barrier.
Oh. Why don't you just say that, fucking smart guy? Wait, I've got the video of what transpired. And here it is. There's Patrick Reed walking up to and actually it looks like he does say hello.
No, that's not Rory. That wasn't Rory. Rory was bending down.
Oh, I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. You know, like this is like he barely like they made something out of this. I don't even think Rory realized
he didn't even throw it at him. Like he flipped it in front of him, like just to be a dick. So again, I'm kind of siding with Patrick Reed now more and more. I like both guys. I've had problems with both guys for different things, but I mean they're both very entertaining. I think Patrick Reed, his issues on the golf course with the cheating and the moving of the sand and stuff, I think he becomes very hateable. When Patrick Reed is playing for the American flag and he's Captain America and he's doing things for this country against, when he's playing the European team or the international team, you fucking love to love him because he that same reason that you hate him is why they hate him. So I don't have a problem with Patrick Reed. Some of the things that he's thrown himself under the bus with, having a burner account on Twitter and defending himself and acting like it's not him. He's been called a dick by a bunch of people, but there's plenty of athletes that are a dick and have that persona. It doesn't change the way that they play, or it doesn't take anything away from the fact that if they're a talented individual, they're a talented individual. But the fact that Patrick Reed walked up to him very cordially and stuck his hand out for a handshake over, like he said, it's a subpoena to his house, but again, it's also it's business. It's not personal. I mean, Rory could have been like, gave him a handshake and be like, "I go fuck yourself," and then just smiled and laughed at him. Right. You know what I mean? It's. I think Rory takes it a little too serious. Rory towing the PGA line irks me a little bit because he has to understand that a rival golf league 110% helps every single player in the PGA, because now instead of getting told if you don't like it, you can go screw and go be a driving range pro because there's nowhere else you're going to make money like this. I think Live Golf opens up the ability for the PGA not to be a monopoly. So Rory McIlroy has to be smart enough to understand that from a player standpoint, not the PGA's business standpoint, it's a very good thing to have a competitive league coming after your guys and drumming up money for you, because that last year, all of a sudden the PGA found extra money. So I think Rory McIlroy handled that a little silly, but then again, doesn't mean you have to like, you don't have to like Patrick Reed.
You know what? Here's the deal, and I got the quotes right here, but I'll say, before I read the quotes, I'll say that, for me, there's a high road thing. I'm not a big Derek Jeter fan. You know that, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, for the majority of his career, right, regardless of whether or not he had a relationship with a player or didn't like something, he was cordial and professional about how he won his business. So
right.
You would never guess that Derek Jeter hated anybody on the Red Sox, though he probably did.
Correct.
Because he never made it known that, like, fuck that guy, right? And I think that's how a professional carries himself. I don't think Aaron Judge is walking around letting it be known that he dislikes certain players. And if you're a professional, then you do that. If you're a person that's one of those people that stirs the pot, then you do that. And you go like, "Oh, fuck that guy." Boxers do that a lot. UFC fighters do that a lot. Football players do that a lot. And basketball players do that a lot. Hockey players do that a lot. Baseball players don't really do that. And golfers definitely really don't do that. So here are the quotes of the questions that were asked. So one of the questions was, big story that a T-peg was thrown in your direction from Patrick Reed. From your point of view, what happened? Rory McIlroy said nothing. Wait, hold on. Rory's from England, right?
Yeah,
Ireland.
All right. Rory said nothing. Patrick came up to say hello, and I didn't really want him to. From my recollection, that was it. I didn't see a tee. I didn't feel a tee. Obviously, someone else saw that, but it's definitely a storm in a teacup. Obviously, nothing. I can't believe that it's actually turned into a story. Yeah, nothing. So then somebody said there's all this. By the way, I'm getting this from allfunannouncing.com. So they are basically kind of like accusing him of pretending like the world doesn't know that there's a beef between the two of them. To which Rory McIlroy says, "Yeah, I was subpoenaed by his lawyer on Christmas Eve. So, of course, trying to have a nice time with my family, and someone shows up at your doorstep and delivers that, you're not going to take that well." So, again, I'm living in reality. I don't know where he's living. If I were in his shoes, I wouldn't expect a hello or a handshake. And that was Rory McIlroy's interpretation of what took place. Patrick Reed's point of view was Rory just looked down. He's messing with his track man and kind of decided to ignore us, which is what Reed said to Golf Digest. We all knew where it came from, being part of Live. Since my tees are Team Ace's Live tees, I flicked him one. It was kind of a funny shot back. Funny how a small little flick has turned into basically me stabbing him and throwing a tee at him. He saw me and he decided not to react. It's unfortunate because we've always had a good relationship. But it's one of those things, if you're going to act like an immature little child, then you might as well be treated like one. Now,
the the more I think about this, the more I have time to let this play out in my head. And me being a little petty too. I don't know, man. Like the I guess like holier than thou atmosphere around the PGA Tour guys, and how it's almost like open season on anybody from Live, where they can sit there and they can absolutely run down Phil Mickelson for every fucking infraction he's ever made in his life, right? And they can shit on Patrick Reed. The second Patrick Reed went over to Live, the floodgates opened up with the stories coming from the PGA Tour between this guy from this locker room and this person working at this, tournament location. It was just an open season on shitting on Patrick Reed. Now it's okay because he's not part of the PGA. Whereas me personally, if that was the case and that was the issue, then shame on the PGA Tour for not addressing it with one of their fucking players and one of their stars. It was okay for him to act that way, apparently, when he was part of their brand. But now that he's not bringing in money for them, now it's a problem. So you can't go from being open season on these Live guys and letting them take all this bullshit and essentially get called terrorists for taking terrorist money because it's backed by Saudi money, as if the PGA Tour and LPGA Tour isn't backed by Saudi or Chinese money.
Card, please scan it now.
This guy's at CVS.
That's CVS right now.
He's at fucking CVS.
I just got here.
So just to clarify, even though we have our in-house lawyer who's providing nothing right now, Patrick Reed is not suing Rory McIlroy. All right, Patrick Reed, along with others, are suing the PGA Tour, and McIlroy, along with a host of others, have been pulled in as co-conspirators.
71. Please wait. System processing. Swipe or insert card and follow instructions.
He was a co-conspirator.
Your order of extra small condoms did not scan.
Should have muted my
Your diarrhea medication, make the brown go away, underwear cleaner, was scanned properly.
I'm buying packing tape because I need it for packing.
Much to the happiness of the Rook, the Rangers have lost overtime to the Maple Leafs.
Why do you keep?
You know what? This is why we don't have money anymore.
It's such bullshit. That never happened. I never cheered against the Rangers.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I saw him walking around in a Jack Hughes jersey.
Yeah, I saw that too, actually.
Dude, he was walking around one of those Christmas villages right around Christmas time in Jersey, kicking fucking children with a Jack Hughes jersey on.
He decided that he's now a New Jerseyan, and therefore he's a New Jerseyan, and that will therefore be rooting for Jersey. And he actually applauded PK Subban slew footing.
You guys are sick.
It was fucking awful, but whatever.
We're sick. We hear you tearing into a bag of bugles that you just bought at CVS.
I bought packing tape. Let me get it input on this Patrick Reed thing. All right. So
you're a little low, guy. You're a little low. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Patrick Reed. Is that better?
No.
You're low.
Dude, it's amazing. I can hear the electric cashier ring him out and clear as day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell? Why can you hear the cashier but you can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but the greatest. I mean,
all right. Well, I have the mic to my mouth, so I don't know what else I need to do. But anyway, no, Patrick Reed's always been like that villain guy. I've actually always been a fan of Patrick Reed.
Sir, we cannot hear you well, sir.
All right, then forget it.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Forget it. See you guys later.
Welcome to Stan Makita's Donuts. How can I help you?
This is hurtful. I really wanted to hear what he has to say.
So did I. I don't know why he's bailing out.
I'm not bailing out. You guys can't hear me.
Turn up the volume in your car. I'm assuming you're talking through your car stereo.
Bailing out. You guys can't hear me. It sounded slightly better.
No, it can't. I can't do it through the car. I have my headphones on and the microphone on the headphones.
Yell louder.
So take the headphones off and put it on speaker. It'll probably work better.
Liquor.
Good idea.
Butt liquor.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead. A little better.
There it goes.
All right. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. So my thing is Patrick Reed has always been a villain, and he's always been portrayed as a villain. Was it in college? He got in trouble for stealing that guy's wallet. Got kicked off the team in Georgia University, right? And then you got him. He's always being that. Everyone always gave him a bad rap when he was in PGA and shit. I like Patrick Reed. I don't think he did anything wrong. It's like having a little fun, flick a tea at you, and then Royal McIlroy's always fucking being a little bitch about things. I know I like the PGA, but Royal McIlroy, I'm with TJ. He's towing the company line a little too much right now. I think he's got to take a step back, have some little self-awareness, have a little fun with it, and who gives a shit, you know? What is it? I don't know. Is he being subpoenaed because he's like in charge of like the players union or some shit? Is that why?
He's being brought in as a co-conspirator in a basically a monopoly.
Oh, so he's getting sued then, technically.
But it's not an individual lawsuit. It's a mass lawsuit.
Oh, so because he's suing different individuals. They're suing the PGA, and they're suing Rory McIlroy. They're probably suing a couple other players as well.
No.
It's the funny thing. It's not that it didn't say that he was being sued. He's getting subpoenaed to appear.
It's not specifically. So from Golf Digest, it says though Reed has multiple lawsuits against multiple media entities, this is a different matter. As Clayman, I don't know who Clayman is. Clayman is personally suing the PGA Tour, and McIlroy, along with a host of others, have been pulled into it as co-conspirators in an antitrust scheme to destroy LIV. So it's not that. I guess Clayman is the person that runs the LIV Golf.
No, Clayman is Patrick Reed. He's the one who's suing.
No, not Claymant. Clayman. Klayman.
Yeah, Clayman.
Larry Clayman. Oh, it's Reed's lawyer. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said Claymant.
No. Larry Clayman is Reed's lawyer.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, Patrick Reed. So Rory McIlroy's pissed off that he received this subpoena on Christmas Eve. That's not Reed's call. His lawyer had the papers delivered on that day,
which is a genius move because he's gonna be fucking home.
Yeah,
when you're a traveling superstar who goes all over the world to play golf and do promos and cut things, and I mean, guess what? Most of the time on holidays, you're probably gonna be home. And that's the best time to catch you and serve you.
By the way, that's fucking brilliant because you have to be served.
Yeah.
I've seen how that goes on Yellowstone. It's not always that easy.
What was he being served with? Is he being served a subpoena to appear, or is he being served with an actual lawsuit?
No, it was probably an actual lawsuit, but it's not. Again, it's.
So I think he's being sued.
It's not like I'm suing you. Just distance yourself from fucking PGA and it won't happen.
He's part of the lawsuit. It's not that he's suing him. It's that he may be involved in an antitrust issue that went on with the PGA players.
Right.
Well, it depends. Is he named as a defendant, or is he just you may be involved in it? So we're going
to named as a defendant.
Oh, so he's being sued.
But as part of the conspiracy.
Yeah, so he's being sued.
Right. All he has to do is not be a part of that conspiracy, and then he's out.
Well, no, he's got to prove he's not part of a conspiracy.
Well, no, because honestly, it's a personal.
Well, no, Reed has to prove that he was.
No,
Reed has to prove that. Reed has to prove that he was. Reed has the burden of proof because it's a civil case. Reed has to prove that Rory McIlroy was involved in it.
Reed probably drops the lawsuit against him if he just fucking distances himself away from fucking PGA.
Make a settlement, like they'll snip you out. Yeah, I guess that could happen. He's not going to do that though.
No, I honestly, and that's where it comes from. Is I mean, Rory and what he does for the PGA Tour, being on their board or whatever. I forget what whatever the board is that he's on, and he's like the head of now. I mean, I'm sure there wouldn't be a subpoena or a lawsuit if Rory McIlroy told Patrick Reed, like, listen, drop the lawsuit. I'll give whatever information I can as to your case, but like I'm not involved. Obviously, Rory did something. Rory's the head of, pushing this fucking anti-LIV bullshit, and he's allowing it in the PGA Tour from his standpoint, from the player standpoint. He's part of the big push he's been outspoken tremendously as far as, like, shitting on everybody that dipped. So, like, dude, deal with it. You got served. It's business. It's not like he's trying to take your fucking house away from you.
I will say one last thing because I got to get going. I got to run in this rain. I did like what McIlroy said. If he threw a tee at Patrick Reed, then he'd be sued because he knows that Patrick Reed's litigious. But Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I gotta get going. I gotta go in the house and start packing up some stuff. I appreciate you having me on as a guest. Maybe I'll join you guys next week as a guest if you don't have if you guys need another guest spot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you'll have to take another run to CVS and you'll have some time for us.
Yeah, maybe after next week's class. All right, guys, it's great seeing you again.
Later, Rook.
Love you both.
Oh, hugs and kisses.
Later.
So do you think he got one of those like fucking toilet paper roll sized receipts from CVS? Because I always get that when I check out.
I don't get that.
Every time. Do you put in your CVS card number? I
don't have a CVS card.
See, that's why. I always get told I can save money on like mascara and shit. I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? This is shit.
Taking that pirate shit to the next level.
Seriously. Go for the smoky eyes. Like I'm in a fucking emo band. Like this is 2007 and I'm in the used.
That being said, got anything else? I got nothing else for tonight. I'm done.
I don't. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Nick. I'm very surprised that Rook graced us with his appearance. I mean, that's a rarity these days.
Yeah.
We may get sued by him, Patrick Reed style, for holding him up a little bit, you know, for discussing his purchase of Depends and diarrhea away at CVS. Should have put that out there, but we did. But yeah, no, I think good show, man. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And Rook, exciting stuff coming up. Ranger season continues. Tough loss tonight.
Before we go, hold on. And I almost forgot, but I didn't. I'm back. Before we go, we have a Super Bowl show coming up on the network, and here is the promo.
That's what she said.
And that's a promo for the big Super Bowl show on Belly Up. Coming up on Super Bowl Sunday, which is what, 2 weeks from now? It's
Sunday.
February 5th is no, wait, that's a lie. Actually, it's later than that. Holy shit. Super Bowl Sunday is February 12th.
Is it?
Presumably so, right? Because this week is the 29th. That's the NFC AFC Championship game. They had the Pro Bowl on the 5th, and the following week is the 12th. No?
Wow. Holy shit, yeah.
Am I crazy? I might be crazy. I don't know. Like,
no, dude, we're blowing through January. That's the thing.
6:30 p.m. on the 12th. You made me doubt myself. How dare you, sir?
I keep forgetting how late we are into January because, knock on wood, it hasn't snowed, and I love it. Not going to be much pond hockey played this year in New York.
First of all, it snowed today.
It didn't sknow.
It's a wintry mix. It was a wintry mix. I definitely saw coming down.
Did you see anything stick to anything? It didn't even stick to the grass.
It fucking snowed. I didn't say it stuck. I said it snowed.
That doesn't count then.
Stop it. Stop. That's like saying, doctor, no, you didn't. You didn't come. Doesn't matter. Did I put my penis in her? Yes, I did. Then I fucked
No. The situation you're describing is like how JD knocked up that, what's her name? In Scrubs. Elizabeth Banks. He let one loose a little too early, and amazingly, she was very fertile, and he got it past the goalie.
It was an airstrike?
Yes, it was a fucking airstrike.
On a surrounding village?
Yes. He spread his napalm with devastating accuracy.
There's some friendly fire.
Doesn't count.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Super Bowl, February 12th.
We're very excited.
But I think that's all we've got here from the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. We'll catch you again next week. I will be on vacation until Friday next week, so probably just be Rook and TJ, unless I can hop on through some third world internet magic. Yes, that's right.
I have a feeling that Rook's going to sell me out and I'm just be sitting here like, I'm having a good time. Not.
Let's see if I can. Yes, I did call Puerto Rico a third world country. My family's from do that. When you go to a place and they're continuously out of water and power for like I'm 35 now, so for 34 years, you're continuously going to a country and they continuously don't have power or water. Absolutely, is a third world country.
So Flint, Michigan, they're a world country.
If they were a country, yeah, they would.
Oh shit! Are you anywhere near Barachina? You gonna get a nice pina colada?
But I think I'm going to go that way. I said I wanted to go there. Whether or not I'm flying into San Juan, there's no reason that.
Oh, you can't make the stopover? Absolutely.
That I can't stop at Barachina to start.
Oh yeah, that sets the tone.
Barachina, for those who don't know, Barachina invented the pina colada.
Yep, we have a TikTok and a YouTube video of me going there with my family and me ordering myself and my wife pina colada, my son a virgin pina colada, and he didn't think it was the greatest thing in the world, which I disowned my son. We left him there. Nick's going to see him selling maps at the airport.
Selling fucking piraguas on the side of the road, shaving ice. Putting tamarindo in it and whatnot, and giving them to the fucking locals.
Fucking selling piraguas. Like it's the fucking Bronx.
And then if he gets older, he'll move into scuba instruction or surf instruction. He'll be like fucking Kunu and forgetting Sarah Marshall, the white dude.
I was going to say along Cape Holly. Luben, you going for scuba?
He's going to be fucking Kunu.
Oh, God.
That's all we've got from the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. I'm Nick. That's TJ. And with us is almost always, sometimes, is Anthony the Rook. We appreciate you spending this time with us. We'll catch you next time. Have a good one.
Later. And my son is home safely, everybody.